Hey guys, how's it going? We're going to talk about Bach. We're going to talk about articulation. We're looking at Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach, his beautiful little march in D major. This is a very, let's say, a beginner piece, but it's a lot of fun. Now, we're going to talk about articulation. What do we do with articulation in Baroque music? And what do we do when we end up with a score that looks like this? It can be useful, but as you can see, there's a whole pile of articulations already written, which I do not recommend ever. I much prefer a score like this. This one I found on IMSLP, and as you can see, there are absolutely no articulations and no dynamics whatsoever either. This is nice because it gives us the chance to do our own thing. So, well, we're going to look at that. That's exactly what we're going to look at, is what we can do with these articulations. So, So, what can we do with this? In one score we have even wrong notes. That's very funny. Okay, so I like to do now what we're going to see is it's not just a question of certain sections being non-legato or legato, staccato or not staccato. There's so many subtleties to the way we articulate things. And we'll find that with Baroque music, Bach, this is Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach, slightly after J.S. Bach, so one of his sons. A lot of times, non-legato sounds very good. So let's say, just for the sake of it, we're going to play everything non-legato. Probably sounds better than that's if we do everything in legato. But now we have to make the difference between doing staccato and non-legato. There's so many subtleties to the length of the notes and how short we play them. So non-legato, let's take those quarters in the left hand. It's a perfect example of this. They have to be all the same length, but not for two reasons. Number one, this is German music. So we don't have a lot of super short staccato notes in German music. German staccatos are kind of longer, but we're not even talking about staccatos. We're talking about non-legato right now. When you come to my masterclass, we're going to talk about articulations, non-legato, staccato, legato, and all the subtleties in between this. So the other reason is that quarter notes shouldn't be the same non-legato length as the eighth notes. So that means that this is all the same length, but then these two notes, they should be a little shorter than all those quarter notes. You have to practice this with your ear, not your head. It's kind of hard to measure all the differences between this. But then you find that you have something that sounds like this. These are all the same length, and then maybe this legato. So that's what we'll find, is that sometimes certain sections sound okay in legato, So this is where we have. So that kind of sticks out to me as being a section that maybe we can do legato and to make a contrast in this section. I'm sure there's some notes that are different in. Maybe depending on the edition, there's some notes that might be different. So now, finally, what we're going to look at in here is, okay, why are we doing articulations in the first place? Music is something that ça raconte. It's like you're telling a story with music. And composers, I mean, they obviously knew this, but where this came from was basically just speaking in the first place. So music evolved from having an actual discourse with something to say. So when we add articulations, we add to the speaking quality of the music in such a way that we hear consonants, maybe even vowels, but we hear something in the notes that gives it an extra speaking quality. So it's more than just legato, non-legato, but we might find that we do something like this. Maybe here, like I like this. So these two are non-legato. But then you might do something like this. So in this case, you do. You're slurring the first two notes. So there's basically one note that's long. Just the D. D, E, F, G, and then the A here is long. A, we slur it to the G, and then the G is short. So what's very important is that you have and that. So the difference, I'm going to show you the difference on paper.